Hey everyone, it's Katrina and welcome back to another episode of Everglades National Zoo. Today we are building a habitat for some binturongs, or some bearcats as I call them, because that's always what I've known them as, and it's kind of hard to call them anything other than bearcats. And I was so excited to build a habitat for them because I think now they are one of my favorite animals in the game. They are so adorable, and I've always wanted bearcats in this game because I think they're really cool looking and they're just really unique. And I really love the way they looked like in the first screenshot that Frontier revealed of them. They didn't look very realistic, but once they changed the Bearcats, they look really amazing now, and I was super excited to build this little island habitat for them, which was not my original idea for this area. The first Before we even got the pack, I was gonna do a little proboscis monkey habitat island in this area, but then I found out that they can swim, so the water barrier wouldn't work for the proboscis monkeys like it does for the other primates we have in the game. But I decided that I thought the bear cats would fit really well on this island, and they can't escape or anything, they can't swim in the water, and I think it's a really good size for them. And they do have a lot of climbing requirements, so I gave them like three separate areas where they can climb, and then I have a little cave in the back as well where they can sleep or hide if they want. And I kind of took the theme I did last episode with the sun bears and brought it to this habitat as well with all of these fake rocks. It's the same color. And then again, I kind of sunk in some of those mossy rocks with the pink flowers. I'm not sure what the name is again. But I made this little rock structure right in the middle, and it kind of goes back to form their cave. And then I added some climbing. I kind of did a built-in climbing structure on this center rock that the bearcats can climb on to get onto the rocks and sit on these little platforms. And they can climb them, though it looks a little awkward at times because they're supposed to climb on these sticks or logs that are connecting each platform, but it kind of glitches and they kind of climb on the air and on the rocks, and it looks a little funny, but they can still get up there, which is pretty cool to see them sit on the platforms. And then I have another climbing structure that I build later on. Just it's really simple. It's just a couple platforms with a log in between. And then later on I bring in the little one of the little houses that I built for the otter habitat that I said was kind of going to be made out of reclaimed and recycled wood from the area that was kind of built for these little houses for these animals. And so I copied one of those and brought it over here and put it up on like a little rock towards the left, kind of left front. And I think it's really cute. They can climb up there too and sleep in the little house, though it took a while to actually get it so their traversable area allowed them to go up there. Even like sometimes in this game, you can tell that in real life and realistically the animals would be able to get to a certain place, but because of how the traversable area in the game works, they can't actually get there in the game. And so it can get a little finicky sometimes messing with the different logs, and all the placement of everything to get it so where they can climb up there. And so I had to make a few adjustments with that, and along with all the other climbing structures too. And you kind of just have to test it a few times until you get it to work. And it's definitely fun to see them climb on what you build for them. And it's nice to have a habitat that actually works in the way that you intended it to work. And then this whole area where the bearcat is really good connector from the pygmy hippo cafe to the sun bear habitat, because we had this big open water area that wasn't really finished and didn't have any foliage or anything in it, and it was just kind of open and blank, this empty space. So now it's connected really well in this loop, starting like so you can loop around and go past the okapis and the bear's tapirs and the bavarusas and all of that, and you can loop all the way around to the bearcats, or you can continue going on, which will be continuing the Southeast Asian section, so I still want to add more of those animals because I haven't built a habitat for all of them yet. I really want to build one for the clouded leopard, so maybe that'll be next, but I think next video will be an Amani Zoo episode because I haven't made one of those in a while. But the layout all really works, I think, and I have this path going above the water and right in front of the island so the guests can get a really good view of the Bearcats. And then the foliage for this area has been same with the rest of the zoo, pretty much the same swamp kind of foliage. And I've still been using that custom tree I made in, I think it was the third episode, with the Scots pines and Spanish moss, and I really like that tree, how it turned out, and I think it fits really well for the swamp with all the Spanish moss, though I haven't been trying to use it too much because it is kind of a lot of pieces, and if you use too much of the pieces can really add up, but they do look good every now and then to kind of add around the area. And then again, a lot of trees coming out from the water to make it really shaded and really give it that swamp vibe. And I am excited to get to the marshland area once we get there, but we still got a little ways to go before we do because we still have got a kind of a large area for the swamp left. There's still some space left that I want it to fill up. But it will definitely be a lot different once we do get to that area, and it'll look a lot different and different kinds of animals, so I'm excited because everything we've been doing so far has looked pretty similar, though I do really like this style and it's been really fun to build a swamp. But I am really happy that I decided to do a zoo set in the Everglades because I don't know, I think this is a really unique area and it's been really fun to do a swamp, something different, and yeah, I'm excited to keep going with this project because I really enjoyed it. And then just a few more things to say. I wanted to say a few things about Bearcats because they're really awesome. So just some little fun facts. They're not actually related to bears or cats, even though they're called Bearcats. But they do kind of look like bears sometimes when they like stand up. They kind of look like they're walking like a bear. And something that I think is kind of funny is they smelled like buttered popcorn, which is pretty interesting. So that's a fun little fact. And they are classified as vulnerable, and a lot of their main threats are habitat destruction and hunting and the wildlife trade. And so because of that, they're marked as vulnerable. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for this episode. It was kind of a shorter one. There's only a couple minutes left of the speed build. But if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and comment if you have any suggestions. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you would like to receive any updates, feel free to follow me on Instagram. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
je terme, pas vraiment. Well, bene.
Delen la te, the Baranov.